Hey, everybody. I am here with Jay Aquarious. He is a openly gay singer and songwriter from Buffalo, New York, Western New York. Hey, Jay, I'm glad to have you here.
What's up? What's up? Yes, what's up? So yeah, Jay Aquarios here. I'm a singer, rapper, songwriter, dancer, whatever. And my pronouns are he, him, his.
All right, thank you, Jay. I'm just gonna jump right into it.
What's
So can
up?
you tell me a little bit about your personal journey as a LGBTQ Black artist?
So my journey, honestly, I would say it's gotten better. At first, it was very rocky because there wasn't really any mainstream artists. Because I started like in 2011 recording music. I was 18, so it wasn't really any of us out here on the mainstream really doing it. You know what I'm saying? So, at first it was pretty tough, but I was still sticking it through. I'm like, hey, if it gotta be me, it gotta be me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I just, kept persevering and, um, I met different people in my journey. I ended up being in a group, and the group really helped me out. It was called Casiophonics. So that really helped out on my journey and made things a lot better. And I ended up being amongst the people in my community. I'm like, okay, you know what I'm saying? It made it easier for people to see me more. So I'm very appreciative. So yeah, now with the influx, made it better.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. And you said a little bit about, being in your community. So how has your identity influenced your music?
When it comes to the pronouns, because I know some people are very sensitive when it comes to pronouns, and sometimes it gives me the freedom to know I can be direct or indirect. So I will say my identity definitely helped me out when it comes to, okay, how personal is this track? Should I give it a pronoun? That if I give it a pronoun, it's probably very personal then. You know what I'm saying? But if I don't, it means that it's something I really want everybody to understand. Like, put it all to the side, it don't matter. It's about the message.
Okay, I like that. I like that. So, you spoke a little bit before about it not being any mainstream gay Black artists when you started. So, what challenges have you faced in the music industry, particularly as openly Black artists?
Challenges, especially in the city that I'm in, like there's a lot of people in the city that just not really open-minded as much as they seem. So when it comes down to the nitty and gritty, it can get difficult. I remember I was working with this one company and we had a good relationship. Had a very good rapport with them. They seen the talent in me and the potential, but they still didn't want to sign me. And I was like, okay, wow, be cool. You know what I'm saying? Why do you want to sign me? Oh, you're gay. It was like you should have known that. I'm like, but still, we like this, right? Like, what's the problem? I mean, in a sense, it was a blessing. So it's like, I didn't know. I knew who I was as an artist at the time, but I didn't. How do I say this? I didn't let whatever was going on misshape it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't like, oh, I started making personal stuff against them or getting real angry and vengeful. I just kept doing my thing. You know what I'm saying? I even forgot about it at some point after all of that. Like I was very upset, but it's like I know this is gonna be a thing that happens sometimes, where people are just not gonna accept you for who you are. So you have to just take the good and the bad and the bad with the good and just, make lemonade out of lemons.
Okay, I like that. One door closes, another one open, because I know you said it was a blessing in disguise. So
Yes.
we definitely love a blessing. Um,
Yeah.
so as far as musical influences, who are your musical influences and how have they shaped your style and your sound?
I'll give a top three. Number one is TLC, Left Eye Overall. Love them. They showed me that music could really, I'll give you four, honestly, but
Okay.
TLC really did it for me because they showed me the music can be hardcore, but it can be fun still. Like the Spice Girls is another one. They were my musical first loves. So they definitely showed me individuality and how fun it is, right? Can you could be yourself and still be celebrated. You could be loud, you could be quiet, you could be posh, you could be what I'm saying, like real scary with it. But yeah, so them, but Toni Braxton, she definitely taught me how good it is to sing in my lower register. Because I used to always think I just had to sing high. So I was like, when I listened to the male artists, a lot of them were cliche. I'm like, I don't want to sound just like all of you. I want to sound like myself. So I felt like me singing high was more authentic. But she showed me singing low has its perks. So I did that. And then Janet Jackson. She influenced my dancing and my style. Yes, my outfit. Yes, my dancing, my outfits, the way I dress. Sometimes, like it can be. Some people are like, "Hey, you dress kind of militant," and I'm like, "Okay." And that made me think of Janet.
Okay. Control. Yes, we love all of those artists. Those are some of my favorite artists as well. Now, when it comes to your music, are there any specific themes or messages you like to convey through your music?
Yeah, but sometimes it's unintentional. With my first project, I went through different phases of trying to figure out what the direct message should be. Then I figured out it should just be about celebrating an intro. I'm here. You know what I'm saying? And let who I am now just be the theme and be the message. Um, so the next project, it was like, okay, I wanted to get more darker, I wanted to get more serious, and get a little more trendy at the same time. So, um, stylistically, I wasn't really trendy, but musically, it was a little more trendy. So I'm like, okay, um, and I started, if I was going to do something like that, I want to give it a deep message. And I was having dreams about being naked in random places. Nothing sexual. It's just that, like, it was a moment where someone made me feel a certain way negatively, and the clothes had disappeared. And I realized it means that you're in a state of feeling vulnerable and insecure, and you need to be visible. So at that point, I realized dreams should be a part of my themes and the stuff that I do visually and musically and lyrically. So that helped. So with the next projects, it's all about dreams and because the third project was Dream Reality, so about dreaming. This recent project, trippiness, just giving you something visually that you wouldn't expect and just throwing it together.
Okay, I like that. Now,
Yeah.
do you have any specific creative processes that you do when you write a song, or is there any specific places that you? Well, I know you said dreams is one of them, but is there any specific places that you draw inspiration from?
Anything around me, anything that's happening. I don't have a system. When I'm writing, it's just something came to me, or I'm probably just writing I'm trying to get something to come to me. I might look up and find something around me to give me an answer. Like, oh, I got this flower. I'm gonna start writing about the flower. It's on the hat. It's black. The glasses. I'm just start writing a description of what I have, make it rhyme, make it make sense, and then figure out where it should go next. I don't have a strict system. I'll listen to a beat and the beat can give me something.
Okay, so you basically use your environment around you to help you.
Yes.
Okay, that's a great process. Now, how do you navigate through expressing your personal experiences through your music? Because I know you talked about like vulnerability and things like
Yep.
that. So how do you navigate when you are expressing those personal experiences? Have you ever had like been in a place where like you felt too vulnerable or like not vulnerable enough during a specific song or while you're trying to write a specific piece?
Yeah, there are songs where I feel like I'm not being vulnerable enough and it requires me to go deeper. And I just start pulling again from my environment. On my latest project, I have a song called Dreamatic. And that came from a dream I had about like just I was shopping in a supermarket in the moon, and next thing you know, I fell through this tunnel that threw me into space, and I'm like falling from space next to Earth, and I just look at the side of me, and it's weird. It looks like I'm in the booth.
Okay.
So like it was weird, like because when I'm in the studio, I like what the lights are off, like completely off. So I just looked to the side in the dream, and it looked like I'm just looking out the window in the booth. It was just odd. So I was sitting with the producer, and I was just telling them about it, and they were just going shuffling through beats, and I said, you know what? Boom. You know what I'm saying? I think I got something. And then dramatic just came to me. Dramatic dreams, dramatic.
Okay. I like that. I like that. That also sounds like it could be a part two on Trippy, you know.
Ah, maybe. Maybe. Maybe.
So as far as community and representation goes, how do you feel about being a representative of the LGBTQ plus Black communities in your career?
How do I feel about them?
Yeah.
Um, I feel like when it's time to get work done, we're here. You know what I'm saying? We're about to get that, get that work done, show people that there's a variety, there's something to offer. Um, I definitely believe when it's time to come together, we will come together.
Okay. And as far as the local scene goes, and also mainstream as well, have you noticed any changes towards the attitudes of people, booking and signing LGBTQ artists since you started?
Yes. Yes. I'll start off with mainstream. Mainstream. I definitely believe because a lot of us were already in here. You know what I'm saying? Nepotism is another thing which helped allowed us to get into these spaces and people to, really want to get to know us because of who we're connected to. Which is good for us that's underground trying to go up. You know what I'm saying? Because okay, cool. Connections is a thing. But when it comes down to local, I would definitely say we are definitely getting booked more, but that's because a lot of us are, what I'm saying? Like when you watch TV, you see people that are seen. You know what I'm saying? You see people that are like you, representation. So they see that mainstream, there's something going on. Then they see somebody locally that's doing something, and they want them to be a part of it because they see talent and potential in them, and it makes them want to come out here. And then when they start seeing us, the booking agents are like, you know what? Yeah, yeah, I trust you because you definitely been doing your thing. But I don't know these people, but I don't have a problem giving them a chance because I think they're going to be good. So more room is created when it comes to the booking. Yes, I definitely see a change.
Do you see a bigger change in mainstream versus local, or is it just as equally as big of a change?
Hmm. I think mainstream there's a lot of change. Um, and I would say mainstream more because locally you can only do but so much. You know what I'm saying? You can change the people around you, but that's just the people locally. When it comes down to mainstream, you can change the whole world. So for everybody to see you as this person now, expressing your femininity or your masculinity in a way that is not typically seen as presentable, you know what I'm saying? As in gender bending in a sense, whatever, you know, hey, what I'm saying? I feel like that I would say mainstream.
Okay. And speaking of like changing the world, are there any specific causes or movements that resonate with you that happen to find their way into your music?
Um, when it comes to mental health, that really makes its way to my music because I like to get people to either feel seen or feel like they can step outside of whatever they're thinking and try to get into something different. Like, you know what? I never thought about that before. That's interesting, and it creates a conversation, makes you think. So, that would be my think that would be my take from it. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not thinking about what you're going through, or you're thinking about it so much, but now you have someone to share it with.
Okay. That sounds nice. It's always good to have somebody to share, you know, similar ideas and things. Even bad times sometimes having people to identify in the same way that you do, it makes you feel less, in a way, less lonely, from what
Yes.
I've noticed. And so, are there any specific memorable moments that you've had so far in your music career?
There's a lot of memorable moments, not and there's a lot coming too. Um, trying to narrow it down.
Well, give me one memorable moment from when you first started, and then give me a current one as well. How about that?
A memorable moment when I first started. All right. Ooh. So I remember when I first went to the studio by myself. And it was my cousin. He actually had a studio where called Solo Productions, and his name is Solo. So he actually decided to, hey, I saw him at a family gathering. He said, "You want to record?" I came to the studio to record, but it was also inside of it was like if you walk in first, you'll see a barber shop. Then you walk further, a beauty shop. Then you see a studio. I didn't know when I was recording for the first time by myself, they could hear me. I know they could hear me. So when I left, they were, barbershop, black men barbershop. They're going to talk and they're going to give it to you direct. And especially because at that point I was a rapper, they were like, you know, you know, um, like puffing their chest out, like, hold up, what's going on? What's going on here? What we got? You know what I'm saying? Like they were sizing me up real hard. And yeah. It wasn't a good experience. I ended up switching to singing because of that experience. So that I would say earlier on. That would be a memorable experience, but more recent, I would say Daytime Buffalo because I was on Daytime Buffalo this year. That was the first show I did this year, and that was dope. It was really, really dope. I was so happy. I brought my mom. I brought one of my closest friends, Grace Modi. I brought her. I brought my assistant, and we had a ball. We had so much fun. My mom, because we always watched the news since I was a kid, so to bring her on set was like a full circle moment, and she was in ooh and ah. She got to see everything and talk to everybody. We was like acting up. They was like we was cutting up, and they loved us so much. They loved us so much. So I definitely am going back.
I saw you on Daytime Buffalo. It was a great interview. It was a great time, and you did a great job.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, as an artist,
Hmm.
what advice would you give to other LGBTQ artists um, that are coming up right now?
Just like any artist, first learn the business. Learn the business. Know how it is to, record a song, the logistics, and make sure you have the copywriting and publishing and all that. Learn that basic music stuff 101. But since we're openly gay, even if you're DL, read the room. Read the room around you and notice what kind of show you're being booked and what type of studio session you're booking, who you're working with. Know who has your back and who don't have your back. Protect yourself.
That is great advice. Definitely great advice. And looking back on your journey, is there anything you would tell your younger self starting out in music?
Travel.
Okay.
No, no matter what, travel. Travel.
All right. So I got a couple of little personal questions I like to ask everybody at the end of their interview, just to get a little bit more info on you as a person. Um,
Hmm.
so, if you were to give me one song that would be the Jay Aquarious theme song. You know, that song that pumps you up, gets you going, no matter where you are. What song would that be?
Doesn't Really Matter by Janet Jackson.
Okay, you know I love a good Janet song.
That's my favorite song. I love that song so much. Like it just, I just get taken back to the world premiere. It's amazing.
All right. And who is the top three artists right now, or top three songs on your playlist?
Besides me,
Yes.
um, um, Kenya, not Kenyatta. Remember the person's name? It begins with a K. Kanatra. They
Okay.
did a song with Duran Bernard. I can't remember who that person is. They're a producer. They're kind of like a David Good a little bit. I can't remember their name. Um, um, Kenyatta. I can't remember. I can't remember. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
But them, Raven Simone. I've been listening to her. And I will have to say, um, Left Eye.
All right. Definitely that old school Left Eye. Now,
Hmm.
what are your upcoming shows? How can the people find you?
All right. You can find me I have an open mic this Friday where I am the host. I'm organizing, I'm hosting it too. So anybody who wants to come up and perform, they can. I'm doing Niagara Falls Pride the next day. Um, and then also R&B Hip Hop Pride, which is very important to me by the end of this month, July 26th. I will be on Daytime Buffalo right before I go into the show. Go to the show. So it's R&B Hip Hop Pride Part 5, All Rainbow More Genres. So it's gonna be hosted by Kira Oshun, DJ by DJ Wax, music will be spun by DJ Wax Mice, performances by Mix Melanin, Mike Farrow, um, Newspeak, which is who I'm wearing the shirt right now. I'm in Akira's house, so I'm submerged, and you know who I'm working with. Um, so also, yeah, there's a lot of different artists on the bill. IF, um, Fiji, who's my protege, one of my proteges. Um, there's a lot of people on this bill. Nick Terrell, Lionel. You're gonna get a lot of different variety of musicians.
And tell us again, what's it called?
R&B and Hip Hop Pride Part 5. All
Okay.
rainbow, more genres.
All right. And shoot out your Instagram, Facebook. You know, we want to know, where can we find you? Where can the people come to listen to you? Where can they stream you at?
Jay Aquarios, JayAquarious. That's the same name on Instagram, Twitter, well X, but Threads, and you can search that same name on Facebook, but the space between the J and Aquarios.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you for coming and talking to me, Jay Aquarius.
No
I'm sure
problem.
I will get to see you at some amazing shows this summer.
Yeah.
Looking at your page, you look like you booked everywhere.
Yes.
And
Yes. I got more shows coming too. So
happy to see it. So I appreciate you for spending some time with me and telling me about yourself and what you got coming up. I definitely wish you well in the music industry, and I definitely see you doing big things.
thank you. Thank you. Same with you. Same with you.